Here's one of Morro Bay's famous butterbutt squirrels to remind you to please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Rod in the water, please. Okay. We're up real early for the sunrise in December. Nice chilly wind. Kind of windy out here this morning. Sun's coming up. Got these supposedly 1 foot swells. It seems like it's a pretty small swell out there. I was hoping for some clouds. It's been cloudy all week, and now clear. So we got to get it moving. Need to get out there, get the rod in the water before the sun gets too high on the old horizon here. Today we're heading over to the North Jetty. Last time I was out here, there was a commercial fisherman. He told me the best fishing is on the last third of the jetty. So that's where we're heading as fast as we can today. I'm not saying I've never caught a fish out here on a sunny day like this, but it is always much better if it's foggy or a little cloudy. So we made it. Yeah, I told you. We are out here at the very end of the jetty, at the mouth of the harbor. One of the things that's nice is that I haven't been out here in a few months, but they replaced the old foghorn with one that's remotely operated, and it's only turned on in bad weather. So it's really very quiet out here. It's very nice. Got out here and found out that only one of my cameras was working. We made it on out here as fast as I could. I don't really have any video coming out because I really want to get out there and get that line in the water before the sun comes up. You can see I'm casting straight out off my favorite rock. You can also see, look at these swells. They're beautiful. But you can't fish out here when it's like this. You got to come out when the swells are like under 2 feet or so. Of course, right away I get a snag and I got to break off. That's because I cast it about 10 yards to the left to where I know there's a really good spot. That's what it's like fishing out here. There's spots where there's always rocks way out in front of you, so you're gonna lose gear. But you can also find the areas where there's a hole or something, and you got to memorize that spot. And that's what gets you the fish out here on the jetty without losing a whole bunch of gear. You're still going to lose a whole bunch of gear. The rainbow will come out even after that. You can see the sun's just coming up, but I just got my first bite. Such a small swell day, just lots and lots of little boats heading on out. I got a whole little segment I'll show you in a few minutes of all the boats heading out here. Meanwhile, the bites are continuing. It's tempting to want to pull that hook into the fish, thinking that, but you got to be patient. Really wait for that one really big bite. This is a great example. There it is. That was an amazing bite. You could tell right from the way that fish pulled that it's going to be a very, very nice fish. In fact, I'll show you when it gets up here. I'm pretty sure that is the biggest brown rockfish I have caught off the jetty. Big old brown egg. Super brown egg. Brownie. Okay. Look at the size of this here brown. Oh, that's going to be tasty. Wish I had my other camera going. Okay. Oh yeah. You can see, oops. You can see he swallowed the hook, so definitely going to have to take this guy. What's amazing about that fish is just how fast it lost its color. You know, when you saw it when I hung it up, now it's a pale white. Yeah, did you see that new foghorn? It was right behind me there. people are going to like it out here. They're going to stick around. It's nice and quiet. Usually they'll come in and they realize how loud it is and they head right back out if you're not fishing. Here's that compilation of boats I saw going out there. Yeah, it was definitely my biggest brown ever. But I'm forgetting the plan while I'm watching all these boats going by and not getting any bites. I'm here to fish the last 1/3 of the jetty, not just the back of the jetty. But you kind of get in that fish fever thing and you don't follow the plan. But I'm going to move out here in just a second because I got some jack smelt in my bag I want to try. So finally I come to my senses here, and while I do, this mother sea otter comes up to take a little gander, see what's around there, and drops her little young one off. It's kind of nice. I got the jack smelt from a trip I made a couple weeks ago. I was trying to make a lingcod video on the South Jetty, and I was able to catch the bait for it, but when I got out there, I didn't get a single bite. It was very sunny, just like today. She eventually gets a clam and comes back. You kind of hear her beat that clam on her chest. So as I said, this is a couple weeks ago, and you watch, I'm going to adjust my line in. I'm going to pull that thing about 4 foot in, and as soon as I do, I get those jack smelt bites. And that's what jack smelt do. They're all in a line, parallel to the jetty. And if you're 2 foot in front of them, you don't get a bite. But you pull it in, they start biting. Right there. I've got 2. One of the last times I was out here, I was using the live bait, and I was just getting all kinds of bites. But today, this day, took it all the way out there, not a single bite. And like I said, it was very bright out there. It was great visibility. I should have gone diving that day. But I didn't get a single bite. But I kept one of the jack smelt, and I'm going to use it right here. And I corded it up, and we're going to chuck that out. Hopefully, maybe there'll be a lingcod out there. Okay, so yeah, back here on the North Jetty again, and now we're fishing with that jack smelt for bait. We're going to toss it out there, and we're going to let it sit for a little bit, and then we're going to pull it back in slowly, and hopefully maybe we'll get that big lingcod out here that I've been hoping for. A couple of weeks ago, a few weeks after this video, I had to go get my license, a fishing license renewed, so I went over to Berg's where I usually go, and I was talking to one of the really nice counter person there, nice guy, and we were talking about getting lingcod. I keep telling him, well, I can't seem to get one offshore around here. And he said that I needed to go more north, and I'd probably have better luck if I went up towards Cambria. I'm kind of thinking, Montana de Oro has a lot of them, but he didn't seem to agree, and he's been fishing around here a lot more than I have. If any of you have suggestions on where I should be going to get my lingcod, please make a comment down below. Oh, and I met a fan out there, and I'd really like to know if he and his family caught some fish after I left. So if you did, leave a comment. One of the problems you'll encounter out here is just trying to find a nice rock to stand on so you can actually fish the last third of the jetty. Not only does it have to be a nice place to stand, but you kind of have to figure out where you're going to land the fish if you catch one, especially a big one. So I was out on that side for about an hour or so, and I think I did get a really nice bite, but that was the only one. And then I decided to go over and work the other side of the jetty, but at this point, I just run out of film, so I guess we're on to the cooking portion of our video. I hope you enjoyed this part. Don't forget to subscribe. Going to start off today with some tartar sauce for the brown rockfish, and for that we're going to need a cup of mayonnaise, a teaspoon of capers, and 2 heaping teaspoons of dill relish, and like a nice teaspoon of vinegar. In this case I'm using the apple cider vinegar. I'm going to mix that up really well and put it in the refrigerator for later for our fish and taters. That's right, we're going to make some nice chips to go with our fish, or just, crinkled french fries here. So I want you to get them out and put them on the counter to warm up. There's that nice brown rockfish. I'm quartering it all up for frying a little later. We're going to put it in some flour, spice flour. That's a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of pepper and a bunch of spices and a cup of flour. Next, we're going to take and just put our fish right inside there. Coat them really well, mix it up real nice, and then pick up each piece individually and make sure it's well coated. I spiced up that powder with some lemon pepper seasoning, but you can put anything in there you like. Next we'll make up a little egg wash. I just like to use 1 egg and about a half a cup of water. It seems to work pretty darn well. If you like a little thicker coating, don't use so much water, and then just mix it up till it's nice and foamy like that. Put it on in the refrigerator for later. I'm also going to make up a little ciabatta toast here. I got some corn oil that I'm using for that. You could use some butter. Sadly, butter gives me heartburn. So I want you to go ahead and put the oil in there, a couple tablespoons, lots of oil. I like lots of oil. Just mush it right on in there. Put a little salt on there. Then we're going to do a little cheese toast here, I think. So you got to cheese it. And I should have put the garlic bread on, but it's okay. You can put a little garlic powder and pepper on there right after you cheese it all up. And then I just toasted that up in our little toaster oven, and you'll see. Actually, I put some little green onions on there too from our backyard. You'll see that a little later. We're going to make some nice French fries to go with our fish today. I'm using crinkle fries. Don't use the cheap ones. And you can see that oil was perfect, nice and hot, about 375. That's about a ½ inch of oil, and you just fill up the pan there and kind of work the fries into the oil. As they cook, the fries will shrink. You can get them down inside there. You can see these are turning golden brown. That's about 5 minutes later. Okay, the oil's nice and hot, and it stayed that way, so we're turning them over here about 10 minutes in or so. Let them cook some more. Well, because of the hot oil and because I didn't overcrowd the pan, yeah, that took about 11-12 minutes to cook those fries. You don't need to overcook them, just get them crispy and pull them out. And now we're going to do our fish. Yeah, go ahead and put those French fries in the oven at about 150 so while we cook our fish here. And you can see that's the fish. I'm shaking off the powder, and then I'm going to take it over here and dip it in some nice egg wash, turn it over there, and we want the egg wash to drip off real well. And then we're going to put it in some, I did panko. I was thinking of saltines, but I did panko again. They're delicious, didn't quite have time. And then we're going to put it right inside our oil. And you can see that oil was definitely not as hot as the French fry oil, and that was kind of a mistake. And another mistake I'm making right here is I've overcrowded my pan. And that's why I'm going to turn this back over and let it cook for another 5 minutes and need the heat to get up on the pan here and really give this stuff a good crispy. Yeah, it's easy to forget and not let that pan heat up like that. And then you kind of get in the situation where you don't want to overcook the fish because, you only need your fish to get to 160 and it's perfect. So, but it did, you can see it's caught up here. I barely saved it. Well, actually, it's hard to go wrong as long as you don't overcook it. So here we are, we're plating it on up, and there's my world-famous tartar sauce again. You can see my ciabatta toast and the French fries. You can see not a lot of those French fries actually made it this far. Once everybody knew they came out, we did manage to save a few for the plating. And I don't know if you can hear that while we was talking over it, but you couldn't quite hear it anyway. But they are really crispy and delicious. But let's get on to trying that there stuff. Ooh, yeah. Right, check it out. Damn, that's good. Brown rockfish, that's my favorite.